Good morning. Welcome back. Happy Monday. And I hope you had a fantastic Thanksgiving with your family and were able to rest and enjoy your time off from work. Today, we are going to be doing lesson 16. And tomorrow, you have your mid module assessment. So hopefully, we'll kind of get our brains turned back on today. And we have to kind of turn our brains on today because we are doing word problems. And I know word problems often are the things that challenge us the most. So if you've got your workbook, if you can have that out, you're going to turn to lesson 16, page 4C63. We are going to do number 1, 3, and 4 together, and then you're going to do 2 and 5 on your own today. So hopefully that'll be pretty good and give you a good base. The directions say solve the following word problems. Use the RDW process. RDW just stands for read, draw, write. So you're going to read the problem, you're going to draw a model, and then you're going to do the problem. Writing is just doing the problem. And that is with your strategy. I know we all still have different strategies. And as long as you have one that works for you, that's fantastic. So we're going to start out with number 1. And this one says, Frederick counted a total of 80 flowers. I'm going to underline that because that's going to be really important. Total of 80 flowers in the garden. There were 39 white flowers and the rest were pink. How many flowers were pink? Okay, so I know my total and I know one of my pieces. So the way I'm going to draw this is I'm going to have a total, and you can draw a little squiggly like that, or you can draw just a V, and that's my 80. The whole thing equals 80 flowers. And I like to label those. And boys and girls, some of you all are in your head, you're like, why do I need to draw all this? This math might seem a little easy for you, but as math gets harder, the more you can make models, the more you write out what you know, the less information will be lost. So really, really focus on drawing that model. Okay, so there were 39 white and who knows how many pinks. Okay, so anytime we have the total and a part, and we have to figure out the other part, that is going to be a subtraction problem. We're going to do, and I'm going to show you several different ways that you could solve this. And again, you pick the way that works for you. I'm going to start out with our algorithm, 80 minus 39. I'm going to show you this with the place value chart at the same time because they kind of go together. So if I have 80 minus 39, if I have 0 ones, I cannot take away 9, so I need to regroup a 10. So take one 10 and turn it into 10 ones. Over here, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take a 10 and turn it into 10 ones. Okay, do you see now that my chart matches my problem? Now I can do 10 minus 9. So I'm going to change my color so we can kind of see what I'm doing. So I'm going to take 9 of these and cross them out. I have 1 left. So make my 1 here. I have 7 10s. I need to take 3 10s away. This is a step that several of us have been forgetting. You do your 1s and then you just count your 10s. Don't forget that sometimes we are taking some 10s away. So I'm taking 3 10s. I'm going to cross out 3 10s. And I have 4 left. So I need to write my answer statement. Remember, you always want to write that answer statement so whoever is grading your paper can tell what your answer is, because this is a lot of information here. If I looked at that, I would have a very hard time telling what someone meant. So there are 41 pink flowers. And you could add to that in the garden if you want to make a more descriptive sentence. That would make your writing teachers very happy. So there's our whole with one of the parts. Okay, if you need to pause this and get this written down in your workbook, great. But we're going to move on to the second problem, actually number 3. We're going to skip number 2. You're going to go back and do that on your own. Okay, let's read, draw, then write. Remember, read, draw my picture, then I'm going to write the problem. There were 26 magazines on shelf A and 60 magazines on shelf B. Now, I want to stop for a second. Do we know what we're doing with those two numbers? They might ask us, how many total magazines? But we don't know yet. So let's not get started till you've read the whole problem. Read it the whole way through before you decide what you're going to do. And it says, how many more? Oh, I want to underline that. That's some important words right there. How many more magazines were on shelf B than shelf A? So how many, anytime that you are asked how many more, you're subtracting, you're finding out a difference. Okay, they don't want to know how many total magazines are there. So we're going to have, I'm going to make 2 different bars on this one. So we've got shelf A has 26. Shelf B has 60. What we are finding out is this right here, what the difference is. What would we have to add to 26 to get to 60? Or I could do 60 minus 26. So this one, let's do this one. The last one we did a vertical method with regrouping, which we could do on this one again. I could do 60 minus 26. But for those of you who don't like that way, I'm going to show you a arrow method. So I'm going to start with 26 and see how long it takes me to get to 60. So 26, I'm going to go to my next benchmark number, which is 30. So I'm going to add 4 and get 30. And I know that 30 plus 30 gives me 60. So that was quick and easy. I could have done 3 10s and gotten the same answer. So I've added 4 and 30. So this would be 34. Okay, you can do these. Again, I'm going to just show you real quick. If I did the subtraction, 60 minus 26. I cannot do 0 minus 6, and you cannot flip it upside down. A lot of people say, oh, 6 minus 0, and they want to write a 6. You cannot flip subtraction problems upside down. Works with addition, not subtraction. So I need to regroup a 10. So now I have 5 10s left, and now I have 10 1s. So now it still equals 60. 5 10s plus 10 1s still equals 60. I didn't take anything away. I just made it look different. So now I have 10 minus 6, which is 4, and 5 minus 2, which is 3. I got the same answers I did using the arrow method, whichever way works for you. We need to write our answer statement. There are 34 more magazines on shelf, Shelby, I'm writing my daughter's name, shelf B than shelf A. Okay, again, if you need to catch up, copy this down. You can pause the video and just join us back whenever you get finished. Okay, we are going to work on problem number 4, which is on the next page. Just flip your book over, 4C64. And this one has got several different steps. And this is the kind of problem that sometimes really confuses us because there's a lot of numbers and we don't really know in which order we need to do them. We need to use them. So let's really kind of use that read, draw, write to think about what we need to know. So it says, Andy spent 71 hours studying in November. So I'm going to put Andy November. And we can just shorten this so I don't have to write as many words. And I'm going to put 71. In December, so I'm going to put Andy December, he studied 19 hours less. So I'm going to make the bar 19 hours less, and we don't know how long he studied. We know it was 19 hours less than 71. So we still don't know what we're trying to find out. They have not given us our question yet. Now we got a new character. Rachel studied 22 hours more than Andy studied in December. How many hours did Rachel study in December? Okay, well, we're going to do Rachel December was, so Andy's number in December is his question mark. So we're going to do question mark. Make that a little bit longer. With 22 more hours than that. Okay, so whatever the question mark is, because that's his December number, we're going to take the question mark number and add 22 to that because she studied more. When it says more, we're adding. It says less, we're subtracting. And it says, how many hours did Rachel study in December? So this is going to be my answer. This is what I need to know. Okay? Can I get this without doing this? No, I have to. This is a two-step problem. So the first step is that Andy studied 71 hours in November and 19 hours less than that in December. So if it's less, we're going to do a subtraction problem. So I could do 71 minus 19. I'm going to do this one. I'm going to add 1 to 19 and add 1 to 71 and get that easier problem to work with. 72 minus 20 is so much easier than 71 minus 19. Remember, it just changes. It doesn't change the difference. It just changes where you are on the number line. So I can do 2 minus 0, and I can do 7 minus 2, so 52. I could have also done this, an arrow method. I could have done regrouping. I just want to remind you of all the different tools that you have that you might possibly want to use. Somebody might have forgotten something over Thanksgiving. We ate a bunch of turkey, turned our brains off, and you just need to remind it of all the different strategies that you might be able to use. So use any of these that you want to. Now, so we know our question mark now is 52 hours. But that wasn't the question. The question is, how many hours did Rachel study? So if the question mark is 52 and Rachel studied 22 hours more than that, now more, I've got an addition problem. So now I'm going to do 52 plus 22. And I can just do this one. It doesn't even need regrouping. 2 plus 2 is 4, and 5 plus 2 is 7. So my answer statement will be Rachel studied 74 hours in December. Now, we have figured that out different ways. Could I have drawn my place value discs? Could I have done arrow method? Absolutely. I want you to work on the way that works for you. But when you have all of this information, you need to think, what is it exactly that you are being asked? That's the biggest thing with word problems, is what is this asking you to do? And we need to kind of draw out and put our question marks where we don't know information. So your work today is to finish number 2 and number 5. And if you can tell, number 5 is a multi-step question. So I want to see those redraw rights. If you have any questions, ask your teacher. And don't forget that you've got your mid-module assessment tomorrow. So what you might want to do today, since you only have 2 problems to do, is flip back through the first 16 lessons and just remind yourself everything that we have learned, because this has been a huge math unit. You've learned so much. Your math brain cells are just popping. So go through that. And then tomorrow, rock that mid-module assessment out. And I will see you again on Wednesday to start lesson 17. Have a great rest of your day.